Hey everybody, this is Ryan. Let me show you how we can use our jazz chord voicings with open strings to make some really beautiful textures. Now, in this particular song, it's going to sound very interesting sounding rather than beautiful sounding, but it is beautiful in its own way. I'm going to show you some other ways that I would use this concept and technique, and then we're going to practice just having the strings open in the practice video. So let me show you what this sounds like. I can't lose when I'm with you. How can I snooze? So you can see that this chord right here, it sounds very interesting sounding and beautiful in its own way. And the reason why that is because of the chord itself, but it's because we're playing in the key of C. And the strings that we have droning are scale degree 7 and scale degree 3. So you're adding those two notes to every single chord that you're playing in this particular example. So you can have some really colorful textures if you do this in the key of C. And that's just kind of the way I think about it. There's a lot of different ways to think about this concept, but I like to think about it in terms of key and then what scale degree I'm adding to the chord itself. So if you're in the key of C, you're adding lots of like mystery and tension by adding scale degree 7 and adding scale degree 3 to your chords. Now what we're going to do is go through all the different keys that you can do this concept in, using the same chord voicings as in Snooze. So next we're going to go to the key of D, and we're going to take this minor 7 voicing and play it over here. So this is like our 2 chord, and then you can move it up 2 frets for your 3 chord, which is our F sharp minor. And then if you take this shape and you slide it down all the way to the 2nd fret and you lift off the pointer finger, then you have this really fancy B minor that I wouldn't always substitute it out for a B minor bar chord, but you could substitute it out and it would sound really interesting. And then using our major 7 shape, you can go to the D right here and have a really fancy D chord. And then you can take this major shape and go up to the 4 chord and have this really beautiful G major shape. So in the key of D, you could play something like this. And that makes a different feel. And the reason why I think is because we're adding scale degree 6 now, which is our B string, and now we're adding scale degree 2, which is our E string, to all of these different jazz chord voicings, which makes a really nice texture. So that's the key of D. Now in the key of E is where I most commonly will see this technique being used, because we have scale degree 5, which is B, and now we have scale degree 1, which is E. So as an example, you could do something like this. So using the chords that we just learned, you could have C sharp minor like this. And this would be a really great substitute for a C sharp minor bar chord. Then you have the F sharp minor that we went over a second ago. Then you can slide this up 2 more frets. And you've got a beautiful G sharp minor. And then for your major shape, you've got E major right here, which sounds really great. And then you can, if you're able to, you can slide all the way up here to the 12th fret for a really beautiful A major 7 shape. So if I were to use those in E, it sounds something like this. So you can hear how those droning strings give a much different characteristic and feel than in the first example that we gave. So that's the key of E. Now in the key of G, it adds kind of more of like a, in my opinion, sort of like a somber, sadder, contemplative sort of feel. So we have E minor, then we have C, major 7, then you can slide up to G here, and then you can go to A minor 7 right here. And I know I'm going kind of fast. I'm just showing you the concept, and then we're going to practice this in the practice video. So if I were to do a jam, it sounds something like this. It especially works really well in minor keys because when you play the last string, you land on home on that high E string right there. So, and then the last key that you can do this in is in the key of A. And I will very commonly see this in the key of A too, using like sus chords, like the A sus2 and stuff like that. But using the chord voicings that we know, we have a C sharp minor, which you can use in the key of A. We also have that B minor that you can use in the key of A. You can add in the A sus2, which would sound really great. And then using another minor shape, you can use the F sharp minor. So this would be like potentially a good substitute for your F sharp minor bar chord. And one of my favorites is this D. So now if we were to jam in the key of A, I might do something like this. And you can see how it adds a different characteristic and a different feel because now in the key of A, your B string is scale degree 2 and your E string is scale degree 5. So you're adding those notes to every chord that you play using the different jazz voicings that you learned. So anyway, this is an overview of that concept, and now I'll see you in the practice video.